Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So today I am going to be working on the cover of this art journal right here, and this is a Strathmore mixed media art journal. And before I dive right in, I just wanted to address a couple of different issues. The first thing I wanted to say is that a few days ago I posted a video where I asked the question, would you guys prefer me to edit my videos? And then I opened up about how I do not edit my videos, and it's basically for two reasons. The first reason is it would just break my brain to figure out how to edit my videos. It would just take up so much energy, and I mean, oh my God, I can't even think about it. It would just totally send me into a spiral. But the second reason, and a very important reason, probably a much more important reason, is that I think it's important for me to show all my mistakes, so-called mistakes, and all the the meanderings that happens with the creative life and the creative journey and painting. And redoing this journal is a perfect example of that, but I will get back to that in a moment. So I do know the value of me not editing my videos. Like, I do a lot of preparation for my videos. I journal about it, I make notes about it, and I try to have a very cohesive kind of a presentation. That being said, there are things that I put in there that are, I don't know, they're just kind of blurbs, I guess, But anyways, when I do ask that question, a lot of it is me kind of giving voice to my insecurities, because I do have some insecurities about, well, maybe my videos should be a little bit more polished, etc., etc. So that's kind of where that is coming from. And I just want to thank you guys so much for all the amazing comments that you left, just being supportive of the fact that you guys want me to keep on making my unedited videos. And not only does that help me out in terms of the technical sense, but I do think that that's where all the gold lies, is in all those kind of mishaps, I guess, or, just little bits and pieces of whatever happens. And me personally, I also do not watch art channels that are very edited, because personally, if I don't know how you got from point A to point B, it's just very frustrating to me. It might look pretty, but it's just not my thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Some of them are so well edited that's a masterpiece in and of itself. But for me personally, it's I want the knowledge. I want to know how you got from point A to point B. I want to know all the, so-called mishaps and all the problems that, come up in the creative life. So anyways, I'm going to just drop that and we'll get back to this in a moment. But I also wanted to address another, a question that I got, and it's just better if I illustrate it rather than answering it in a comment. So I posted a 3-part video series where I worked on this spread, and the question that I asked was a very well thought out question. And I think, my adage is, if one person has that question, then probably other people do as well. And actually I really stopped and kind of thought about it. So basically there was a piece of collage over here that it had a little bit of green on it, and I completely covered it up with this piece of collage. Now this is my handmade collage here, and the question that I got was, why did I not just add green to another piece of the spread? So I'll answer that question first. So there's nothing wrong with adding the green. I could have added the green to other parts of the spread to move my eye around, but with my particular visual language, with my personal preferences, I just didn't feel that the green kind of went well with all these colors. I don't know, it just did not appeal to me aesthetically. So there's nothing right or wrong about that. it's just, you know, it was just a personal preference. Now, the second question I got from the same lady is, you know, why did I not cover this whole thing in blue? I think that was the question. So there was a little piece of collage here with a little bit of green. And, you know, the question was, if I didn't like the green, like, why didn't I cover this whole entire piece with blue? And then my answer to that is because I just feel like it would have been too stilted and flat. So like my eye would kind of come in here and I'd be like, oh, this is interesting. And then there's a collage here. Okay, I'm moving here. But then it would kind of come here and then it's just a plain blue and it wouldn't really move my eye around. It would be like a just a wall, I guess. Whereas now I go in here, I go, oh wow, that's interesting. Oh, okay. And then I come back here because there's some handmade collage here and here and here. So I'm gonna go like in a circle. You know, I'm gonna kind of go like this, you know, roughly. So another question I got, because I think I misunderstood part of her first question. So the other question I got was, why did I not just cover up that little piece of green? Like I didn't have to, like, you know, put a whole new piece of collage. I could have just kept that piece of collage, but then just covered up the green. And that is a great question. Now, honestly, I had to think about this a little bit. And normally when I'm painting, I come in here, I put on some music, or I put on, you know, my Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes audiobooks, and I'm kind of like in the flow. So I don't think about everything. It's kind of like driving a car, you know, when you first start driving, you're like, oh my God, you know, I have to do this and this and this. But after a while, it's just like automatic, you know, you don't really think about everything you're doing. Now, when I am making these videos, I do try to like talk out loud about it, but in real life, like if I wasn't recording, I don't kind of question everything. Like I'm in the flow. And when I had to really think about it, like that is a great question actually. Like, why did I not just cover up the green? And the answer that I came up with is because you know, like, okay, so just say I had a piece of collage here and there was a little bit of green. Well, when I initially put that piece of collage down, it felt right to me. But now if I had to cover up the green, it would change the whole collage. Therefore, it would change the whole painting. So what I'm thinking is it just didn't kind of fit in with my aesthetic. It just, you know, I didn't even think about it, honestly. Because I guess I could have just covered up the green. And actually, there is a little bit of green over here, but it's and I'm not sure if the camera can pick up on it, but so it's just a let me see here. It's just a little bit of green, but it's a darker green, and it fits in with this aesthetic because maybe because of where it's positioned, maybe because it's a very much more subdued green. Like a lot of things that happen in painting, they can't all be explained. So I really appreciated the question and it really made me think. And that's the answer I came up with. Like, it's kind of like when you're in the flow and you don't really kind of think about it, and then you just do things that kind of just feel right to you. And you know, my thing is, like, if I had to come in here and just say, this is a Stabilo, right? And I just kind of do some scribbles over here or whatever, it is going to change everything. So just say I came in here and I'm going to use this over here, and, you know, just say, I'm going to move this. So just say I came in here and I kind of went like, oh my God, you know, I'm just making like all these scribbles. Like, I'm not even thinking about it. I just want some texture and, you know, whatever. Well, me doing this is going to change everything on the page, because now I'm like, well, you know what? Yeah, I really like this, but it's looking weird just by itself. Because if I'm going to come in here and look at it, I'm going to look at that and then I'm going to kind of be stuck there because it's not repeated anywhere else on the page. So I might have to come back in and I might have to go, oh, but you know what? I'm going to, like, you know, make some bold marks over here. And, you know, I'm going to say, oh, well, I want to kind of move my eye around the page here. So I'm gonna kind of go like so, and you know, maybe I'm gonna kind of go like this, you know. So my point is that when you change one thing on the page, it changes everything on the page. And that's why a long time ago, I took a lot of art classes, and one of my teachers, she told us that, you know, painting is a series of decisions that you have to make. And at the time, I didn't really understand it, but the more I paint, the more it rings true, because that's absolutely what painting is. It's like, okay, I put the red down and now it changes everything on the page. So now I have to make a decision. Okay, what kind of collage am I going to put? Because I wouldn't put this piece of collage down here if this background was, say, a pink, or if it was, you know, a blue. I would use different pieces of collage. I would, like, everything is in relation to everything else. Nothing is separate on the page. So it's kind of like a symphony. It's like a dance. It's like, you know, you make a decision here and then it's like, oh, well, now I've got to, you know, figure out what to do over here. So it's like a dance, and it's a very kind of an intricate dance. And when you're in the flow, you don't always stop to question everything. You're just like, oh, it just feels right, and oh, I'm gonna move my hips here because, you know, that's just the rhythm, and blah blah blah. But if somebody had to stop you and ask you and say, hey, why are you doing this, you'd be like, I don't really know, let me think about it for a second. So anyways, I'm sorry, you guys, that was probably way too long-winded, but I just felt that it's a very important, interesting question that the lady asked me, and I really appreciated it. And it really did make me stop and think, like, hey, why did I do that? Why didn't I just cover up the green? So thank you so much for that question. And I hope that I have answered it in a way that has, you know, been helpful. So I'm just going to move this off to the side here. And we're going to get back to the cover of this art journal here. So this is a great illustration of when things just are not working. Okay, you guys, I have been working on this cover, like, I don't know how many different backgrounds I've had. Like, I went from a like kind of a, like this cashew color over here, which is like a basically a creamy white. And I think I went with, like, I just went with so many different colors and none of it worked. And then I tried the green, because there's a like green over here, this has a little bit of green. So I thought, oh, you know, maybe I can pick up on the green, but it's just looking so flat and dead. And now I'm just like, I was frustrated because I just tried so many different colors and it just was not working. Now, I do like this part of the painting, but what I'm thinking is that maybe I'm too attached to this, and maybe I need to kind of like get rid of some parts of this, because maybe it's just like throwing things off, or I don't really know what's going on. But all I know is that I have worked on this so much and it has really been frustrating, which means that it is a great, like, it's a great way for me to illustrate, like, hey, because I mean, we all get frustrated. So how do we deal with frustration when things are just not working out? And you guys, like, the camera cannot pick up on this, but there are literally like 1,000 million layers on this cover. And covers are really important to me anyways for my art journals, because they just, like, it's a cover, like it sets a tone for, you know, all the pages inside. And so sometimes I do the cover first and then I start working on the pages, or sometimes I wait until I feel ready to do the cover. But for this cover, for some reason, because I have started working on some of the pages in here, but for this particular cover, I'm just not feeling it, you guys. So how do we get out of this frustrated kind of like fighting the page? Because that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm fighting the page. Like, I'm like, just like, you know, like, it's just so constricted. like tight. So I want to loosen up. I want to just be like, you know what? I just need to relax. I need to just chill out and just get into a state of playfulness. So what I'm going to do is I am going to turn this upside down first of all, and I did put some dictionary pages here and some tea bags. But what I am going to do is, like I said, I think I might have to cover up some of this because I think it's just, you know, this is a sad truth, you guys, because I do get comments like, you know, sometimes people will say, well, you know, how did you cover that up? Because, you know, it was so beautiful and I really loved it. And I totally get it, you guys, because I do not like covering up stuff either. Like sometimes I get really attached to a piece in the, you know, in my spread, and I don't want to cover it up. But sometimes, you know, like you just have to cover things up because of whatever reason, you know, it's just not working generally. It's just not working. It's not going to work. That's generally why I cover up stuff. So I'm just going to add this tea bag here, and it is transparent, but it is going to dull a lot of the, you know, it is going to take the oomph out of it a little bit. Let me see, I didn't put enough Mod Podge there. So yeah, I really got attached to the bottom part of this. I don't know why. I really honestly do not know why, but I just got so emotionally attached to it, but I just don't see it working. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into beginner's mind. I'm gonna get into like a playful kind of a, you know, like who knows what's gonna happen, and I'm not gonna focus on, you know, the image. I'm not. Like, obviously I know this is a cover, and I know that, you know, I know that, like, I want it to be a woman. And I'm gonna get some of my, you guys, I kind of did go a bit crazy here because it's so addictive making collage. But I have like so much collage, honestly. It's kind of crazy. But I'm thinking that I need to like add some of my collage because I need to break up this energy here. I got too emotionally attached to this piece right here, and I want to kind of, oh, now I do like that, honestly. And you guys, I'm taking this tea bag out because I want to put this piece of collage down here. Now, unfortunately, you guys, this piece of collage is going to cover up quite a bit of this, but it does have similar colors to what's already on this, you know, dress part here. So I am going to just put that. And do you see, like, it's just, I need to break up the energy. Okay, I just need to like, I need to insert some kind of different something into the page because it just was not working. Now this is a bit of a thick piece of collage because it is on composition paper, but I think I added like other additional papers over top of it, so it is a little bit kind of thick, but I mean, so you guys, another question I was asked is about my Stabilo, and does it not like smudge when I use Mod Podge over top of it. So basically this over here is my blue Stabilo that I activated with water, and then I let it completely dry, and now you can see I put all the Mod Podge on there, but it's still staying. It's not smudging. Now sometimes it will smudge a little bit, but that's usually like if I just do it and it hasn't properly dried. So yeah, the Stabilo is really quite extraordinary. I really love it. It's just amazing. So when I get like really like frustrated and tight and like I feel like I'm fighting with the page. That's kind of how I feel with this cover, because I just tried so many different colors, and now I've just come to the conclusion that it's not the color of the background per se, it's that I was too attached to this piece over here, and for some reason I couldn't make it work. So anyways, like I said, I'm just going to kind of forget that it's even a lady. I'm just gonna look at it like, hey, I'm just having fun, and I'm just, you know, just experimenting, seeing what is gonna happen. I'm just gonna take that approach, which is, you know, just relaxing, playing, getting into beginner's mind, because anytime I'm feeling really like, you know, like I'm fighting with the page, that's not a good thing. It's just going to lead to more and more frustration. And I think that's what happened, because, you know, initially I was really frustrated, and then I just kept on going down that same rabbit hole of frustration. Like, well, this must be the right color, and like this must be the right color, and, you know, I'm going to try this out, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so I'm just going to kind of like relax, and I'm just gonna kind of see what's gonna happen, you know? I'm trying to just be like more like as if this is just a background, because right now it is just a background. It's you know, I've covered up the face and it's just a background. So sometimes you just have to go back to basics, you guys. It's, yeah, because, you know, fighting with the page is just never gonna lead to anything good. And even if I did get an image, it's gonna be so like, it's gonna be so tight, I'm not gonna be happy with it. So yeah, so I really love this color actually, and I think what I'm gonna do is maybe add some of my cashew here. And I'm just kind of like, just being loosey-goosey, you know, just free. And I'm gonna have to put quite a few coats on this, because this green is quite overpowering anyways. So this is not a true color, what I'm putting on top of it, because it's just being affected still by the green. But, you know, I'm not trying to focus on that right now. And what I'm trying to do is just kind of look for bits of beauty that I really love. And like right here, I'm gonna bring this up closer here. I'm really loving this little piece over here. Like, I just love this little kind of piece. And I'm just focusing on the little bits and pieces of color fields that I can be like, wow, I really love that. So that way I'm not focused on the image. And I'm even gonna bring some of this into what is probably gonna be the hair later on, but I'm just kind of like, hey, I'm just having fun. And I think I want to bring in some blue, because there's like a lot of blues here, and I want to bring some blues up into the top part of the page. And like I said, I'm just kind of like looking at it like it's an abstract kind of thing. Okay. And another thing